Okay, let's see how this goes. We are going to learn this week the AR present tense of verbs. Since I can't be there with you, I'm going to screen record this PowerPoint, send it to you. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully you understand each of the regular AR verbs. Now, last week, if you remember, we dealt with the verb tener, and that was a little bit more difficult of an approach. Tener is a more complex verb. It's not just a matter of dropping off the last two letters or the verb ending of that verb, which is er, and adding new stuff. It's a little bit of additional work. So this week we're going back to the basics of what pronouns are and then doing the very easiest form of verbs. And you are going to get it. I have confidence in that. So quiz on Friday. We're going to learn this stuff starting today and move forward. So a review of the pronouns, yo, tu, el, ella, and usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Go and take a moment to review those in your table groups of what are the definitions of each. And go ahead and pause this video. And another review from last week is the boxes connecting. Remember we had the pronouns and the verb boxes. All of those pronouns go all the way back to the English definitions. Each box connects. So top left connects with top left, middle left with middle left, bottom left with bottom left, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's get to the new information now this week. A couple basic things to keep in mind is that in Spanish, the subject and the verb of a sentence are combined, where in English we keep them separate. So let's take a look at these sentences down here, where it says, John walked to the store. Okay, we keep the subject, John, separate from the verb altogether. In Spanish, though, what they will do is they will take the verb and conjugate it or change this verb, which originally was caminar, and they will change caminar according to the subject. So that is how they've got camina right here. So they actually take the subject and the verb in Spanish and combine it so that the verb is then conjugated correctly according to the subject. Okay, and you're going to see that with the verb caminar and with other verbs that we do this week. Now, keep that in the back of your mind. Subject and the verb go together in Spanish. Now, every verb in Spanish is going to end in three different types of verb endings. So a verb ending, easy stuff. It's what the verb ends with. It is either going to end in AR, ER, or IR. Nothing else. It will always end in either AR, ER, or IR. Nothing else. What you do with that verb ending in order to conjugate or change the verb is you drop it off. Drop it off, and then add the new verb endings. And we'll get to that in a moment. Now, verbs that have this AR, ER, or IR attached to it still are known as infinitive forms of the verb. And they are not changed according to the subject yet. So, infinitive forms of the verb are any verbs that end in AR, ER, or IR. Okay. In your table groups, now what I want you to do, review two things. What does the subject and the verb do in Spanish? And then also, what does every verb in Spanish end in? So in your table groups, review those two things. What happens to the subject and the verb in Spanish, and what does the AR, ER, what does every verb in Spanish end in? Just told you the answer, so hopefully you remember that. Go. If you need to, pause this video. Okay, pardon me. So, in order to conjugate the verb, we've said this over here. Every verb is going to end in AR, ER, or IR. Those are the three types of verb endings. In order to change it according to the subject, as you discussed on this slide, what you will do is drop off the AR, ER, and IR as follows. So if we have this verb here, acabar, we're going to take the AR and drop it off. Terminar, once again, it's an AR verb. Drop it off. So we're just left with termine. Take buscar, find the AR, drop it off. We're left with busque. So we're left with what's known as the stem or the root of the verb. It's what's left after we've dropped off the verb ending. So this is the stem or the root, this is the stem or the root, and this is the stem or the root. So acab, termine, and busque. From that stem or the root, we will now add the new verb endings. We're not just dropping off the AR, we're dropping it off and then adding the new and correct verb endings to the stem, acab, to the stem, termine, and to the stem, busque. So in your table groups, discuss what do you do with the AR verb ending on every verb this week? What do you do? Hopefully you just answered in your table groups. You drop it off. Keep it simple. Drop it off. Box it out. Cross it out. You're going to drop it like it's hot. Okay. So the new information. Here we go. Once you have dropped off those AR verb endings to each of those verbs, what you will now add in replacement of that AR is the following. O, as, a, amos, ais, on. Once again, go and say them with me this time. Todos repite. O, as, a, amos, ais, on. That is what you add to your verb endings after you've dropped the AR off. Now, remember, go back to last week. We learned that the boxes connect. So this top left box that has the O in it, what does it mean? That verb ending actually is the subject yo. So if I add this O to a verb, it means that I do that verb. For instance, if I'm trying to say I look for, I just add that O to that verb and it will mean I look for, which is busco. Buscar, drop the AR, I add my O instead of that AR, that then means I look for. Yo busco, I look for. Same thing, middle left, middle left. If I put an AS on it, it is you informal to whatever that verb is. So in this case, take that, go back to the verb buscar, drop buscar, drop the AR off buscar, add the AS, buscas, is going to now mean you informal look for because I've added the AS or the to form. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's put it all together. What does this look like if I take one solid verb, an infinitive verb that ends in AR, I drop the AR off, and what does it look like in each of the boxes? Well, it looks like this. Let's take the verb acabar. Acabar means to finish or to end. Let's find the verb ending. In your table groups, find the verb ending of the verb acabar. Go ahead and do that. Find the verb ending to acabar. Don't think about it too hard. It's the verb ending. Okay, hopefully you picked out that the verb ending is AR. It's what it ends in. Remember, every verb ends in AR, ER, or IR. With that being said, acabar, to finish or to end, is going to get changed so that the subject and the verb connect. So here we go. In order to make it so that it's I finish my homework, I'm going to drop the AR, drop it like it's hot, that verb ending, and add an O. So it's acabo. I finish my homework. Why is it I? Well, it's because this top left box connects to the top left box, connects to the top left box, and yo in Spanish means I. Go to the next box. I've dropped my AR, so I'm left with acab. I'm going to add the AS, middle left box, acabas. Acabas now means you informal finish your homework. So you're talking to a friend, you ask them, hey, did you finish your homework? You're going to use acabas. He finishes his homework, she finishes his homework. Acaba. It's going to be this bottom left box. Drop the verb ending, AR, boom, boom, add the A, acaba. Okay? You're going to do that all the way through. Acabamos, acabáis, acaban. You take acab, A-C-A-B, drop the verb ending, A-R, add your new verb endings, O, as, a, amos, ais, on. O, as, a, amos, ais, on. To make your new verbs, acabo, acabas, acaba, acabamos, acabáis, acaban. Give those a shot. Say those with me. Todos repite. Acabo, acabas, acaba, acabamos, acabáis, acaban. Good job. Okay. Now, go ahead and turn to the yellow pages in your notebook. Those yellow pages are your verb packet. Go and pause the video if need be, so everybody can get to that before we proceed. Now, what you need to do in order to follow along is to get a highlighter. Now, if you don't have a highlighter, that's fine. Take your pen or your pencil and pick a symbol. Every verb that I'm going to show you on this screen is now going to be either highlighted with a certain color or with a certain triangle. Pardon me, a certain symbol, such as a triangle. So here we go. In your verb packet, next to each of the verbs, what I need you to do is highlight the following verbs. Acabar, which is to finish or to end. Then find the next verb, ayudar, to finish or to end. Highlight that one. Highlight bailar, to dance. Buscar, to look for. Cambiar, to change. Caminar, to walk. Cantar, to sing. Cenar, to have supper or to eat dinner. Dibujar, to draw. Escuchar, to listen. Estudiar, to study. Ganar, to win. Hablar, to talk or to speak. Llamar, to call. Manejar, to drive. Mirar, to look or to watch. And that is to look at or to watch. There's another verb that means to look for. Nadar, to swim. Pagar, to pay. Practicar, to practice. Trabajar, to work. And that is it. What I want you to do now with those highlighted verbs is for today, your homework for today, have it done by Tuesday. So the rest of the time in class is for you to, one, review your notes that you just learned, each of these items, review them. And then in addition, now take each one of these verbs you just highlighted and make a Quizlet. The Quizlet needs to have the verb in Spanish and then its definition in English. That is your homework that is due tomorrow. Your sub will make sure that you have all of those done on your Quizlet, completion grade that is, and start studying those definitions for your quiz on Friday.